Unfortunately, I have not died yet. I have been quite busy with work and the usual perpetual 24-hour shifts every week, in conjunction with a lot of college and going through multiple certification processes. It has been quite tedious. Stack that on with training, and it's been quite time consuming, to say the least. I've been getting one long run in a week, which I manage to get on the weekends generally, which at this point I can muster out 20 miles quite easily, I would say. It's not really a challenge at this point. And at this point I can also feel quite relieved when it's over and can easily get up the next day and train legs if need be. Whereas before I would be more or less paralyzed. That was some months ago though. Getting back into running has not been easy, as it has been forever. After the last attempt at this race in June of last year, I more or less stopped running. I ended up getting less than 30 miles in the remainder of the year total. So it was a bit of a detraining session, to say the least. Now, on the other hand, I have fallen away from my strength training, which is unfortunate, but nothing I can't get back, I don't believe. At this point, we're nearing the race. The 24-hour run takes place in about 4 weeks, actually a little bit less, and I've been setting conditions to make sure that goes as well as it can. Realistically, there's no way on earth I can train myself in this period of time that I started training to begin with to be capable of running for 24 hours. I'm well aware of that fact. But I am at least doing what I can to make sure it is at least hopefully equally balanced between a psychological problem and a physical problem, and not just entirely my body disintegrating way before my mind has a chance to. Now I get it, of course. I preach the same thing. The mind goes first before the body does, and that's fair. However, when you feel like you genuinely can't walk and all of the nails have come off of your feet and you're more or less ready to die, I would say that's a physical problem as well. Can you mentally push through it? Absolutely. Are you going to? That's a good question. I like to try to remove those variables to the best of my ability so it doesn't come down to just sheer willpower and willing to suffer for an arbitrary amount of time. I like it to be at least manageable for as long as humanly possible before things start getting silly. Aside from all that, I've obviously had to put things on hold with pursuing platinum trophies on PlayStation and all that, as I really haven't had a whole lot of time to play video games as much as I'd like to. And when I do have time, I've been playing PC, which obviously is not the same as getting a platinum trophy. I'm also not trophy hunting on those games either. I'm just playing because I need some sort of psychological decompression, and there's not much going around. Aside from that, once this race is done, hopefully I'll get back into a slightly more regular battle rhythm of uploading and showing training and doing what I'm doing and prepping for the next event. But for now, as things are, I unfortunately don't have a camera crew to follow me around everywhere I go and record every single thing I do, so I'm a bit limited. In addition to all this, I've been managing the athletic team, which, although was initially around 30 some odd people, with fluctuating numbers coming and going, is now condensed down to a fire team plus. Not a very large team. Unfortunately, despite people being briefed repetitively that if they were in this group that they were going to have to compete in something, they somehow believed they would not have to compete in anything, and they could just decide when they showed up to train, if at all. So after eliminating those people from the group, I'm left with a very, very small group. And the Army, as always, is being the Army and ensuring that everyone is training or doing something 24/7. So it is near impossible to get those guys together to do anything anyway. So it has been a vast array of problems. Now, on to the other series of issues. I do not know realistically how efficiently I can pull off this race. The heart issues that developed a few years ago have been reoccurring. Still not to the same severity as they were a few years ago, but they're definitely popping up. Irregular heart rates, as in excruciatingly fast for what I'm doing. It should not jump to 120 beats a minute when I'm shaving. That's not a very intense activity generally. So that should not be occurring. But things like that, random arrhythmias and palpitations that kick up whenever it feels like it, has also been a bit problematic. It's also highly unpredictable, as I can consume copious amounts of caffeine and have a fantastic day, or I can sniff caffeine and my body immediately spirals into near heart attack. So it's quite confusing. There's no dead set standard of this will cause problems and this will not. It's just, it seems to be a hit or miss sort of problem. And it's causing me a great deal of inconvenience and stress because I have no idea what to do, how to do it, and how to optimize it. So I've more or less just been winging it. If I feel like I'm going to fucking die, then okay, I just have to take a knee for a while and try to stop dying. Or I have a fantastic workout and great day and things go on. It is very, very tough to figure out and disorienting to say the least. But we are still playing the game. We're still figuring it out. And by we, I do mean me. I just speak in the third person because I'm likely very psychologically unstable. But nonetheless, all concerns aside, I'm gonna keep gunning it to the best of my ability. I do wish greatly that I could take everybody along and record the training and how things are going, but it's just not an option because, one, I don't know anybody else who likes to run, and two, if I did, they would not want to trail along with me and film, and honestly, I also don't feel like looking like a loser filming myself while I'm running all the time or having someone else do it. It's just very, very peculiar. I have some sense of pride, and I'm not going to have that demolished by having people look at me and think, gosh, that guy is a fucking loser, probably filming TikToks or something. I'm not going to do it. So, I mean, obviously, we've all seen the guys at the gym. They have a fucking camera crew in there filming this guy doing curls with 30-pound dumbbells. And, you know, that's a riveting experience, but God knows I hate being next to those guys. It is tough to deal with. Maybe I'm just being a judgmental asshole. Who knows? That's actually quite likely, but most of the world is, so I know I would fall into that category if I did the same thing. I would not be exempt. Beyond all that, I just wanted to put out some sort of an update, nothing too radical, but some sort of something to say I'm not dead. Things are still going. Still trying to figure this out. I'm still training. I'm still probably going to be absolutely dismantled by this race in a couple of weeks, but you know what? I am better prepared now than I was last year, and that is at least a plus. Last year I rolled into it with sheer hopes and dreams, and I tell you that was not enough. Unfortunately, the extreme inconvenience of that course with how wet it was and the temperature, nothing was good. All of my toenails came off. I got critically dehydrated. I got sick. I fucked up nutrition and ended up having to repaint multiple trees throughout the woods because I got GI distress. Things are not good. But I've been training myself to run. I've been training myself to eat while I'm running. I'm maintaining hydration while I'm doing these things. Things are going well. We're optimizing things at least a little bit. They would have been a lot better if I just started training, I don't know, fucking forever ago. But oh well, you know, what can you do? At least it's doing something right now. I'm doing better than I did last year. So theoretically, I will perform better this time around. Other than that, I'll keep you updated to the best of my ability. And hopefully I don't die in a couple weeks. If so, I guess, well, at least I died doing something kind of cool, I guess. Not that running's very cool, but competing, that's fun. I do like to compete. Although, unfortunately, I will die without a pump, and that is an unfortunate thought. So, I don't know. Hopefully they just scrape me away before anybody sees my body. That's about it. See ya.